Amazing Red and Sonjay Dutt have a best of 3 series this month to determine the number one contender. I don't think there has ever been a greater gap between what something should be on paper versus what it turned out to be in execution.
These are all fun matches, but they just weren't great.
I thought the first one was pretty bad, if I'm honest.
I liked the first one because they just did some technical graps.
Yeah, they went out there and they just exchanged holds, and it's like, it's Sonjay and Amazing Red. Sonjay and Amazing Red.
You know what I think? I think if they had have put this as the second match and had the second match as the first match.
And I think it actively sabotaged the second match where they do start doing flips and shit, and the crowd just don't care, because the crowd do not give a shit about them exchanging holds. In fact, Don West on commentary is like, you know, Mike, I think this crowd is in stunned silence because they didn't expect all this technical wrestling from these guys. It's like, yes, Don, I think that is the case.
Yeah. I think, yeah, just making this the second match would have helped a lot.
And like, they even like fuck up a tornado DDT, and then for some reason they show a replay of it.
There were some weird replays on this month. Well, like one of the most generic battle royal eliminations in the gauntlet. They just did a replay, and I was like, really?
Well, that was a taped show, so maybe that's covering something that they fucked up.
They did the half and half.
Oh yeah, they do picture-in-picture replays. Yeah, so yeah, never mind.
I thought that was like such an odd choice.
Which makes it all the more baffling when it's a taped show.
I don't know. You know, these things happen.
Yeah, shit happens. So yeah, that first match, yeah, Sonjay won with a cradle.
Again, yeah, I think this would have made way more sense to have Sonjay win with the cradle after the technical match in the second match of the series and having Amazing Red win in the flippy one.
So yeah, you didn't tell the story that like they tried to go flip for flip and Red was better, so Sonjay had to bring something different.
Yeah, had to slow him down and bring him to the ground. And then one with a technical move, you know?
I don't think it helped either that like they came out, they were about to wrestle, and then Frankie's music hit, which is just kind of undermines them from the start.
Which I guess was the point of the whole thing. Like that Frankie's undermining them by putting all the attention on himself.
But these two aren't currently big enough stars in this company to be able to be undermined.
Oh, that's a real sad thing to say about Amazing Red.
And he only just returned, but it is true.
And they both had bad gear.
Oh no, they have baggy pants. It's rules. I don't like your anti-baggy pants agenda.
I mean, it's bad. I also just said it to get you to get fired up.
Baggy shiny pants are my favorite kind of gear.
Which is insane, but sure.
May 12th, we had the second match. Red won this time. He had a red star press after a red spike.
Red everything. All red everything.
And he has the red eye and the infrared.
Amazing Red should have trained Eva Marie.
So she could also have move names that are called red.
Well, she was all red everything. Remember when she came back and she was purple?
I forgot that she came back at all. That was wild.
That was wild. That's a weird one.
Yeah. Frankie was out at the opening bell again of this one. In a comical error, a Minnesota cable company's preview listing for the TNA show advertised Amazing Red versus Sonjay Dutt.
He should have come out dressed as a dog.
Russo probably would have loved that. He would have gotten into it.
He would have got a push then.
He probably would have. And then run it back one more time. Third match in the best of 3 series. Amazing Red defeats Sonjay to become number one contender. He hits the red eye to pick up the win. Frankie was on commentary for a while and also sat at ringside. Then Kaz shook his hand. He was kind of condescending. Then Red kicked him out of the ring, posed with the belt.
Yeah, it was actually a good little diversion because you thought for sure Frankie was going to be the one to do it.
Or Red is smart.
Or just a dickhead.
One or the other.
Because Frankie could have just been a nice guy.
He could have actually been sincerely applauding his effort in this best of 3 series. He could have been like, you know what? I've been ringside for all 3 of these matches and you've actually legitimately impressed me.
When they say he's the coolest ever, they just mean that he's a really cool guy. Not that, like, he's being cool. Like, he's just a cool dude to be around.
He's just a nice fella. Very supportive.
That should have been his nickname instead.
The nice fella, Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
You guessed it. It's the nice fella, Frankie Kazarian.
Every time that seems like a burial.
Yeah.
There's no way they do that to, like, earnestly get him over. Garrett, do you want to do a quick review of the Frankie Kazarian Chris Sabin Impact match that's getting a lot of hype?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that, like, on the first show of this month, Frankie mentions the line, "I'm the future and the future looks good," which is the first time he says that line in TNA, I believe. And when he did the challenge for the final match against Chris Sabin, he said that line again, "I'm the future and the future looks good."
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but yeah.
Yeah, they had a really good match, a nice finale. It's more or less 18 years to the day, or 19 years to the day, in fact, since their first match as well. So it was a nice little full circle thing. And if you saw, there's a very nice like digital exclusive put out in the Impact Twitter the other day, which is just Frankie just hyping up Chris Sabin, which he closed with saying that Chris Sabin is the future. Because he is, because Chris Sabin is the best.
It's time to strap him up again.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that match in more detail in like 10, 15 years. when we get around to it.
We need Impact to, like, I don't know, get bored out or something at some point, just so we can have an end point to this.
It's gonna keep running forever.
Forever.
So, Amazing Red is your new number one contender for the X Division Championship. You will face Frankie on the first show of June.
This first June show is lining up to be a big one.
Yeah, they like Mike Tenay's even like branded it as the Night of Champions.
Wow, stealing from NXT.
Yes, NXT invented the Night of Champions.
Yep, that's the only place I know it from. Not the WWE pay-per-view of the same name.
Or perhaps WCW?
Yeah, but WCW doesn't exist to me. So. I'm talking 2008, WWE Night of Champions, Kofi Kingston beating Chris Jericho.
Was that a good match? That feels like it was a good match.
It might have been the other way around. It was right after the draft, after Kofi got put to the Raw roster. It's so stupid that this is my knowledge base.
I was about to say, I like you having a needlessly detailed memory of like late 2000s WWE just because that's when you grew up watching it.
2008 to like 2012 is my that's like the part where I will correct people on things.
If you were to be on an episode of 5-Star Match Game, it's like that's your window.
Yeah, that would be my era. There'd be like WWE title challenges from 2008 and I'd be like Vladimir Kozlov. It might have been 09. Yeah, so Night of I actually found it. It was the first Chris Jericho vs. Kofi Kingston match that came up on Cage Match. I wanted to see who won. Night of Champions 2008. What a card this is.
Go on.
Miz and Morrison defeat Finlay and Hornswoggle for the WWE Tag Team titles. Oh, Dark match. Jeff Hardy defeats MVP.
Probably going to be better than anything on the show.
Matt Hardy defeats Chavo Guerrero with Bam Neely. 9 minutes. I love this match as a kid. 8 minutes. Mark Henry defeats Kane and the Big Show to win the ECW heavyweight title.
No.
World Tag Team title match. 1-on-2 handicap match. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase defeat Hardcore Holly in 1 minute. Obviously, the story going in here was that Ted DiBiase had a mystery partner that no one knew about, and it turns out that it was Cody Rhodes on the night, and the big betrayal of Hardcore Holly.
Cody Rhodes technically beat himself that night.
Intercontinental title match. Kofi Kingston defeats Chris Jericho with Lance Cade in 11 minutes.
Oh, wonderful.
Mickey James defeats Katie Lee with Paul Burchill in 7 minutes for the WWE Women's title.
I miss when Paul was a pirate.
You didn't like Incest Paul?
I'm surprised Paul hasn't popped up anywhere since he left WWE.
I liked Paul.
He's just like, I'm done.
I thought he was a good wrestler. As a kid, I enjoyed him.
Because like the standing Spanish Fly was like his move. It was like his big C4 exploder. That was the thing that made him cool.
Remember when he was Jack Sparrow?
Yeah.
That was a weird time. Garrett, so the World Heavyweight title match and the WWE Heavyweight title match on this show are the most World Heavyweight title match and WWE Heavyweight title matches possible. Mm-hmm. I would like you to have a chance at guessing them.
Randy Orton versus John Cena.
You are so close. Triple H defeats John Cena for the WWE Heavyweight title.
Of course.
And the World title match?
Edge and Undertaker.
Oh, I feel like there were 3 answers for both and you hit 1 on each.
Yeah.
It was Edge defeats Batista for the World Heavyweight title. That's crazy because like Edge, Batista, and The Undertaker just wrestled each other for a year. Mm-hmm. And like that was just a thing. Then of course on the other brand you had Triple H, John Cena, and Randy doing the exact same thing. 2008 retrospective coming soon.
Remember when that company had stars?
Garrett, do you know what the buy rate of this show was?
What?
273,000.
Which, honestly, was probably considered a disappointing number at the time.
Yeah, which is now like insane.
If AEW did that number, people would be literally dancing in the streets.
I would be dancing in the streets. I don't even have like that much investment and I would be dancing in the streets.
It's not your money.
Could be.